The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome to another edition of Insights. I'm Bethany Ricciardi. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm also joined here today with Mary Ellen Jones, a past president and founding board member of MACNY. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for being here.
Great. Thanks for having me.
So we've been hearing a lot lately, there's more to see on US 23. What exactly does that entail? What should people be looking for?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of background on There's More to See on 23. We actually last year, the Lake Huron Discovery Tour Committee took a road trip north and south, and we had these signs, and we ended up going out to iconic places along US 23, holding the sign, and then we started asking strangers to hold the sign, and then we decided we should ask them to hold the sign in front of monuments and businesses and that sort of thing, and it turned into this viral selfie campaign up and down US 23. And basically it started from MACNY wanting to do a regional event to kind of highlight all of the 1,500 plus assets up and down US 23, from Standish all the way to Mackinac City. And we wanted people to actually get off of 75 at Standish and drive north and really experience all the charm, the trails, museums, historical places, the beaches, the state parks, all up and down 23. So that's sort of how it started, and then it turned into a competition among the committee members, and we would challenge each other every day to go out and have business owners have the sign and show, what the area has to offer.
So it sounds like you have both businesses and just residents getting involved. I mean, how can someone, if they're interested, play a part?
Well, what you can do is go to the website, I think, first, us23heritageroute.org, and look at the calendar of what is listed. And I think that they should, first of all, plan an event locally. That would be helpful over that weekend, which is October 7 through 10. And then I would say load up your event onto the calendar. And I would get in your email and invite all your friends and family who live across the state or out of the state and tell them how beautiful Northeast Michigan is in the fall. Peak color, usually the weekend that we do this. There's usually the Lighthouse Festival, many things going on. Last year we had over 100 events going on that weekend. We had films, we had author events, we had chili cook-offs, we had music, we had a dark sky event that was off the charts. Just an amazing weekend, really.
So I understand that you've been working on planning more of the recreational tours. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I have. So this year we decided to create some events that would bring in critical mass people like athletes and people who love the outdoors, and of course look at where we are. You want to take advantage of all the natural resources. And so there's 3 things going on. One is a sunrise cycling tour through Squaw Bay. It begins and ends at the Alpena Farmers Market, and that's Saturday morning. And then around 5 o'clock, there is a walk, jog in Negregon, another state park, natural resource, beautiful area. And then, and those people who attend that can stay and do the dark sky event Saturday night on the beach. As I said, last year it was a hit, and people are still talking about it. And we're going to have a Native American tradition bearer out there lecturing about the dark sky that night. And then Sunday morning, for all those people who love stand-up paddleboard and kayaking, we're going to do a recreational tour right here in Thunder Bay, and that's also sunrise Sunday morning.
So October 9th. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Sounds like there's a little bit of educational purposes and fun all in one.
And healthy activities for families. We hope families come. It's $10 and it goes to a donation, charity of your choice. This will all be loaded up on the website. There'll be a link to actually help you register starting August 1st, and we hope everybody comes out. If you register for 2 or more events, you'll get a t-shirt. And this year we have the Alcona Health Center is helping us out with sponsorship. They're paying for the events.
So it sounds like there's a lot of groups that kind of play a part in this. Who specifically is helping pay for the promotional part of it?
Well, you know, we have been really lucky because the city of Alpena has helped sponsor this Lake Huron Discovery Tour weekend, and this is their 2nd year that they're doing it, so they've given us tremendous financial support. NEMCOG, the Besser Museum, let's see, and also with in-kind contributions, Meyer, of course, the Saginaw Chippewa Tribe, they're our corporate sponsor. Mikaka has helped out, Thunder Bay Arts Council, Michigan Backroads, WCMU. We have a lot of partners helping us out, and we're still fundraising. So if you're so moved and you want to help us expose this amazing place that we live to the outside world, that's really where the money goes, all external marketing.
I remember I have heard someone say, we live where people want a vacation, and I think this is definitely going to highlight on that.
We do.
So is there any registration requirements, fees, things like that? How can people kind of get their place?
Well, for the recreational tours, I think I covered that, but to participate in the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, there's no fee for anyone. You literally, if you have a business or you have an art gallery or you want to promote an event that weekend, you just go to the US 23 Heritage Route, and all the information, actually our poster is actually loaded up on the website, and it'll tell you everything that you need to do. And you just load up your events and wait for the cars to back up on 23.
Awesome. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about this more in our next segment, but can you tell me a little bit about what is this $25,000 Heritage Grant that you, I believe, recently
awarded.
Received,
yeah, right? So the Lake Huron Discovery Tour itself, along with the Community Foundation of Northeast Michigan, was awarded a $25,000 Heritage Grant, and our project is exploring Native American history in Northeast Michigan. And, you know, this was their home. And so I actually have started filming some segments for it. And it's threefold. I'm not going to go into it in detail because I know Katie's going to come and talk about it later. But I just want to say this week I filmed a couple segments. It's very exciting. The forest archaeologists from Huron National Forest took us out to a site, a Native American palisaded village from 1450 AD.
Whoa.
And we were filming in this area, and it was quite amazing to be walking through a village that existed 600 years ago, and to feel the energy of the community, and to have him really talk about the people and, you know, their concerns at the time, which are pretty much the same as ours today. And what went on, and what is a palisade, and why did they build this. And it was an amazing interview, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be part of an update that the Besser Museum is going to have through this grant. You know, they're going to be able to update their exhibit. So,
awesome.
And a piece of it is some oral history. We have scholars and historian, academicians, authors, researchers, all these people that we found, Native American tradition bearers, elders. I'm interviewing them all, and we're going to piece together oral histories for the museum, as well as I'm going to shoot a documentary at the end of this whole thing. So.
Wow, well, I can't wait to see the final product. It sounds like it's going to be great.
Thanks,
Covering everything, pretty much.
It's been fun so far. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Mary Ellen. I really appreciate it. And be sure to stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll see what more there is out on US 23. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bethany Ricciardi out here at the gorgeous Duck Park, Katie Wolf, the Marketing Communications Director for the Community Foundation for Northeast Michigan, is joining me to continue our conversation about the Lake Huron Discovery Tour. Thank you so much for being here today, Katie.
Thank you. What a gorgeous day.
I know, it's perfect. We got the beautiful river in the background. So can you tell me a little bit about what is the Community Foundation's involvement with this tour?
The neat thing, the Community Foundation covers a 9-county area. So literally, the whole route that the US 23 Heritage Route covers goes through that 9-county area. Perfect. So it's a perfect marriage in that we get to promote our communities and get our communities involved. And so it helps the Community Foundation, and it helps the Lake Huron Discovery Tour.
Awesome. So I know we spoke a little bit with Mary Ellen about the $25,000 grant that you folks just received. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail about how you were awarded with that? Sure.
One of the things that we started last year with recognizing, while the Lake Huron Discovery Tour is held the same weekend as Christopher Columbus Day, which is a nice thing because we want people to get out and discover and explore our area. But then there's also the reality that we have a very rich Native American history here, and recognizing that the Native Americans were here, thousands of years before Christopher Columbus was even heard of in America. And so we got together with the city of Alpena, and they signed a proclamation recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day. And that really started a working relationship with the Saginaw Chippewa Indians. But what we realized in working on it, that there was a lot of history that's missing because of the things that happened when the white settlers came into this area. We've lost a lot of our Native American history, and so we saw this as a great opportunity to be able to explore that, because it's fascinating and it's very much who we are. And so we applied for a Heritage Grant with the Michigan Humanities Council, and we were one of 23 that got selected. There were 68 applications, and we got funded for the full amount, so it's $25,000. Now that funding is very specifically for a project that's called Exploring Our Native American Heritage. So it does not cover all the promotional activities that we do for the Lake Huron Discovery Tour at large.
Kind of separate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are there other supporters, organizations, entities that are kind of working with you with this?
Well, we will be, it's very important. We're working very closely, and as Mary Ellen picked up earlier, she's doing a very intensive effort interviewing all those Native Americans, tradition bearers, scholars that we are aware of that have familiarity with Northeast Michigan. And then the Besser Museum, which has one of the largest collections of its type of Native American artifacts, will be very involved in developing an exhibit that will travel. And all along the US 23 corridor, we will be working with our public libraries and other cultural institutions. And during the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, we will have Native American tradition bearers or experts, scholars at various locations to talk about this culture that we want to know more about. So it'll involve everything from presentations to community conversations to demonstrations, possibly music. And then Mary Ellen will be involved as a filmmaker recording much of this. And one of the end products with the Heritage Grant is that you have to have a digital component. So all of the interviews that we're doing, all the oral histories have been recorded, and then those will be archived at the Besser Museum as well as made available to our schools and public libraries, in addition to having this 8-minute documentary. I say 8-minute, it may be 10 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
So we're really, really excited about this.
And we're going to talk with someone from the Besser Museum in the next segment, so we'll be sure to catch up on what their involvement is. But let's say, nonprofits, anything like that, how can they get involved? How can they play a part?
Well, we're hoping everywhere from, Standish up to Mackinac City, if you have a location that has events or is a destination or, has things that people want to get out and explore and discover, whether it's an art gallery, a candy shop, or a sinkhole, or maybe it's a fossil, a field that has really interesting fossils, dinosaurs. There's all kinds of cool things along there. So we want everybody that has those types of locations to go online to us23heritageroute.org, and they can schedule the events that they have going on during that time period, or in fact they can schedule everything they've got going on until then. And so then we will, as part of the Lake Huron Discovery team, and one of the things I do on behalf of the Community Foundation is look at all those little jewels that people have posted and then publicize that through social media. And we've partnered with Under the Radar and several other different entities to help publicize. So, we will be working with WBKB and all of our media throughout the whole quarter to really publicize these events. That's what the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, we call them kind of the core team, does.
Okay.
But then people are responsible for, we want our local communities to put their resources into making sure they have great events for people to experience.
Of course. So these signs, we're seeing them all over. I mean, they're kind of a catch. People are probably curious once they see one. How can you get one at a local business, or how can you get one?
Well, if you go on our Facebook at Lake Huron Discovery Tour and you let us know that you'd like a sign or a poster, or if you go to the US 23 heritageroute.org site and just let us know, we'll coordinate with you to any, the promotional materials. We've got posters, these signs. We have some that are free. I think the yard signs, there's a small fee for them because they cost us a lot and we don't have a lot of revenue. But part of the core team that are really supporting this effort, and that's under the umbrella of the Michigan Cultural and Arts Northeast, also called MACNY for short. That team is working its way all the time up and down the US 23 route, heritage route, to make sure that people have signage and they know about it and they're getting their information online.
So we're right off of US 23 here where we are now, but let's say I wanted to start this tour. Where would you suggest beginning?
Well, that's the cool thing, is that you can go online and look at all of the things that are fascinated along the US 23 heritage route and really plan your own trip. So maybe you're interested in cycling or birding or hiking, so you can look at all the trails in that area and plot your own trip. So, you can start from Mackinac City, you can start from Rogers City, Presqu'Île, Alpena, Ossining, Oscoda, Alcona, any of those different communities, Harrisville, anywhere you want to start. Or a lot of people last year actually did start on one end, and we know that they went all the way to the other end over the 3 or 4 days because we have geocaching. Oh. And so that allowed us to know all the different places people were going. And that was really popular, and we'll do that again this year as well.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much again for being here, Katie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. And be sure to stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll be speaking with Chris Witulski at the Besser Museum and their involvement on More to See on US 23. Welcome back, everyone. So we've been telling you there's more to see on US 23, and now we're here at the Besser Museum with Executive Director Chris Witulski. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks.
So the Besser Museum is playing a big part in this Discovery Tour as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you got involved in the role that the museum is going to play?
So the Besser Museum was one of the anchor institutions when MACNY formed. And then in 2015, when the Lake Huron Discovery Tour was launched, Besser Museum, myself, and Mary Ellen Jones, and Katie Wolf, and Tim Kuhnlein were kind of the head of that committee. And so that's with the first tour that we did. We went up and down US 23, really promoting tourism to this area, but also the US 23 Heritage Route website. That's beneficial to MACNY and promoting all of our events and institutions of what we do all year long. So it was really to help promote the usage of that website, getting your events out there, and then also really bringing the region together to have a coordinated effort to market outside of our region, to go down into the Detroit markets, Ann Arbor, even as far as Chicago, Illinois. We wanted to let the world know that Northeast Michigan was here and all the great things that we had.
So having one of the most significant Native American collections here at the museum, how are you kind of using this tour to help explore these resources?
So when we started talking about the 2016 tour, one of the things that came up was helping people identify with their heritage. And because Besser Museum does have a large collection of Native American heritage, and it's one of those stories that is being lost, we chose that heritage to focus on. And so Katie Wolf actually submitted a grant to Michigan Humanities Council for a heritage grant, and we were lucky to receive the full amount. And so what that is helping us do is research this area. The project consists of really 3 parts. One was to create traveling exhibits with the collection here at the Besser Museum. We do have one of the most significant large collections of Native American artifacts. Some of them are nationally recognized, like our Nipkow discs, very rare artifacts. And Mary Ellen Jones, a film producer, has been going through the region interviewing scholars and also natives to get that story. And what we're hearing back from them is really, it is a black hole. There's not been a lot of research, not a lot of collaborative effort to tell our story. And so one of the questions that was, where are all the natives? Where have they gone? Where are they now? And so this has been a real fun adventure leading up to the Lake Huron Discovery Tour, which will be October 7th through 10th. And during that time, there are presentations scheduled for Standish, for the Oscoda, Tawas Library areas. Harrisville Library will be hosting a presentation. Mackinac City will be hosting a presentation at their library. And then we'll end the tour Monday night back at the Besser Museum. And so each one of these presentations at the libraries will be talking about a different theme of the Lake Huron Discovery Tour's Native American heritage story.
So I'm going to go back and touch on how you said where the Native Americans have traveled, where are they now? Something that I just learned is the US 23 corridor, that they've traveled that. That was one of their trails, right?
Right. So it was interesting. One of the adventures I got to go on with Mary Ellen Jones was to Mankato, to what was a Native village. And so even though that's a little far off of the US 23 Heritage Trail, they actually populated all of Northeast Michigan and used that corridor from Standish up to Mackinac as their waterways, as their foot trails, as their highway. And so to follow that same trail and see where they were and where they are today was kind of our inspiration to create this event. And it was very interesting because as we were looking for scholars, looking for natives themselves, in walks Ellis Olson from Sheboygan with 40 years of experience. And he actually came in and said, I'm looking for that Native American trail along US 23. And he's been studying, writing a book, and trying to find those missing links. And he is going to be a big part of helping us tell this story.
So have there been any big surprises or, maybe lasting impressions that you've been able to discover during this expedition?
Well, getting to go to the Mankato site for the first time was a surprise. Having Ellis walk in while we were working on this. Mary Ellen has put together like 60 some contacts. And one of the things that we want to do is have a database for further research or people that might be interested in this. So taking all of those contacts that she has made in Northeast Michigan that knows about Native American heritage and making that a resource for others. How little we know has been a surprise, but it is going to end up being just the beginning of a really big story. And so Besser Museum has had this collection here. It's the Haltiner collection. 2 men during their whole lifetime have collected all of these artifacts. Some are regional, some are from the Midwest region. Like behind us, these Nipkow discs are found right here in Alpena. They found one of the largest pieces of pottery in Northeast Michigan, right here in Alpena. There are others that have been found in the Mankato area and surrounding areas. So to elevate the presence of this significant collection and then also use all that research to reinterpret this gallery. We know it's antiquated. It's been on exhibit the same way for so many years, and we are really hoping to bring it up to the 21st century and bring life, the essence of those people in that culture into this gallery too. So it's exciting. exciting.
So I know there's another big thing you guys have going on at the museum, and that's your new planetarium.
Right.
Do you think that's going to be around when the tour is
We
taking
are
place?
hoping that we will be able to have that operating. It is the plans that the digital planetarium will be able to have shows during the Lake Huron Discovery Tour. We are also having our juried art competition. So the juried art is open to all Michigan artists 18 and older. They can find more information on the Bessemer Museum website, but the entries come in October 1st through the 8th. So what we did last year for the Lake Huron Discovery Tour and what we're doing this year is People's Choice Award. So you actually get to see all the artwork before the juror eliminates those that didn't make it. So we'll do the People's Choice Award, and then we also have our Salvador Dali work on exhibit. And so that will also be here during the Lake Huron Discovery Tour.
Sounds great. Well, thanks again for being here with us today, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bethany.
Awesome. And then be sure to stay tuned for another edition of Insights next week.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.